It's the Jordan.
Okay.
He's here.
Yeah. Actually, while we were waiting, I was drawing for the first time in I don't know how many months.
Yay!
I'll quickly show you the results.
Okay.
Oh, I can't stream into this channel. That's okay. I can just show the WIP.
Okay. The whip.
Those are what Belmonts use.
It is.
And Belmondos, but that's neither here nor there.
Belmondo.
Lest any just a fun fact for you guys. Belmondo is actually the Japanese name for the Belmont clan in Castlevania. But over here we call them Belmonts. So we decided to make that a little in-joke for Boone's character in Curse of Strahd.
Sugosh Belmondo.
Yeah.
Hello, Crystal Star Girl.
So this is what I've got.
Okay. Ooh. I'm drawing her today.
That you are. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just felt compelled to duel her for a little bit, and it's like, I think I still got it.
Yep, you do still got it. It's like, oh, she's just standing there. Menace it. Wait, no, she's not standing. She's actually charging at me. Oh my god.
No, she's sprinting at you.
Ah!
And you can choose whether or not to show that to the stream. I don't care.
I can in a bit.
Yeah.
We are in the
Okay,
midst of the
thanks.
countdown.
Yeah.
Actually, something I might as well take care of as well when we get to the coloring process. I am gonna need Alex's color scheme.
Yep. I'll send you the references right now, actually.
Yay! See, I was gonna look for it myself, but that does make it easier.
Yeah, considering I created her.
Yeah.
Alright, first one is the basic design. The right-hand one is the more streamlined version. But dealer's choice, honestly.
All right. I'm probably gonna end up using both because the image that I made does include her weapons.
Yeah.
So having colors of those would also be pretty nifty.
One detail that I try to keep consistent is that no matter what, Alex's eyes are always glowing.
Yep.
Even if it's just like a faint glow, like during the daytime.
Yep. There we go. Yeah. I got tired again, but I'm okay. Oh. You know what, Jordan? Here, have Sonic doing a thing.
Okay. Sonic? Okay, anyway, I'm listening to Super Castlevania 4's OST right now because I can't hear the stream. But when he did that, Simon's theme immediately kicked in.
It knew.
Yeah. Oh, I like what you did with Night Stalker.
Yeah. Yeah, family events was trying to get some rest afterwards. Yeah, 4th of July tends to do that.
Yeah, so I don't know when he's gonna arrive, but speaking of family, Alec is attending a housewarming party, and he's gonna come over to our place to spend the night. Yeah, so I don't know when he's gonna arrive, but I did let him know that I was gonna be busy with this,
Okay.
so I'll at least try and pop in and see him if I can.
Oh, of course. Always make sure you see family.
Yeah, but I wasn't notified until Dad told me, so.
All right.
Like, if you plan to do anything with me event-wise, let me know in advance. I'll freak out if you don't.
That's what I did.
Yeah, it's like, you told me, hey, you want to do this? And it's like, sure, let's pick a day. Saturday works. And it's like, great. I have time to prepare myself mentally. I have time to put on pants.
Yeah. Wait. You get time to do that? Shit.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Nothing.
What do you mean by that?
Your breathing's wrong.
I don't see a slap sound effect, so
I had to make that myself.
yeah.
Yeah.
I made this though.
I cast fireball.
Not to eat the fireball.
Shit. Oh, well, maybe he has different flavors for counterspell with certain spells. Like for fireball, he just eats it.
Yeah.
Well, okay. No, you can counterspell it, but generally, if you fail the dex save, you have to mitigate damage. But you know,
Yeah.
it's it protects you from the full brunt of it.
Yeah.
And my family keeps distracting me. I just collapsed on my bed afterwards. I did try the cake Mom made, and it tasted good. What kind of cake?
Also, I am now cuddling Palutena amiibo because she's taking up my brain space again.
Aw.
Thanks, Zenny. And I also figured, another thing I also figured too, Jordan, is like, I bet you probably want to be around on Monday as well, because we'll be covering Riona.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of Zemi, though, I did play Persona 5 last night. I finally got started on it.
Ooh.
And, I had a 5-hour session.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, it's like, I wasn't sure if I was gonna get that into it, but I'm like, oh shit, this game is kind of my jam. Like, they also pit you against a real piece of work, as, like, the first major antagonist. And it's like, okay, great to get that out of the way, because that shit makes me squirm.
Yeah.
It's just, ew.
Yes, I can't remember what the cake was called, but it was alcoholic, and however you can barely taste it, it's even there.
Oh, so it was, cooked with alcohol in mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, With that countdown done and over with, though, so, hello everyone! It is I, Relmore, a PNG tuber who predominantly does artwork, and welcome to day 6 of the lore-a-thon. Yesterday, we were working on Amara, General of the Dragon Army, and oh boy, the impressions people got with her were quite the strong ones. And then, now today, though, we're going to be doing something a little different here. We're not going to be working on any ref sheets here. I'm actually going to be working on some crossover art involving both Kamiko and a character that Jordan has made. You may know her as Alexandra Vega Arc from Phantom of the Forest.
Yeah, my Monster Slayer.
Yeah, so it's a chance for us both to talk about our characters together.
Yeah, and I guess I could also throw in some updates in regards to where I'm at in the development of my series, because I've kind of been on and off with it lately because I've just been, getting increasingly busier at work, and also just, all the life changes that happened to me in the past year, which sucked.
Yeah.
So.
And also, I made sure to name the playlist for it "Phantom of the Superior."
Nice.
Figured it was appropriate. But for now, let me get that playlist up. Actually.
Alrighty. Okay, just for the record, how do you set up your playlists?
I basically have a bunch of music in a folder, and then I select it all, open up my media player, and then just hit repeat and shuffle all of it.
Okay, got it. So you do it basically what's the word? Natively?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's actually pretty smart.
Yeah. But anywho, so yeah, this is gonna. It's definitely going to be a much bigger image. I mainly just wanted to try to get, like, some kind of a pose to see how they would end up looking like in the middle of a centerpiece. So, the background's definitely going to be much broader. I just merely wanted to get something of a starting pose to how these guys would end up looking. And, you know what, I think I really do like this. Like, I think it helps really to establish... I think it does help to establish a lot of, like, the differentiations between their characters and whatnot. Like, Kamiko is definitely more on the... Like, Kamiko definitely looks more on, like, the striking agile side, whereas, like, Alex is definitely, like, again, very much moving around like a phantom.
Yeah. Quietly and efficiently.
Yeah. Very close. Don't know when they'll strike.
And she could be anywhere or everywhere.
Yeah. So Jordan, if you would like to talk a little bit about your girl, you certainly can.
All right, where to start? I guess I'll just start with the basic premise of Phantom of the Forest, because I know you've heard me throw it around here and there. So what's the story actually about? Well, it's a dark fantasy series taking place in a kingdom called Eclepia, known under the epithet of the Land of the Eclipse. It's the biggest landmass in the Willamette Deep, that's the sea of the world. And it's the biggest continent of the main four. There's Alinor, there's Cretaria, and there's also Leofial. But the bulk of the first two arcs takes place on the continent where Alex makes her home, Eclepia. So there was a 30-generation-long war, aptly called the 30-Generation War, between the rulers of the kingdom and the demons, who cannot be killed, but they can certainly be quelled by silvered weapons and certain other technologies that the Esther royal family had access to that most other people didn't. So it was actually Alexandra's parents who helped win the war for them by severing the Demon King's leg, thus putting a stop to the war. So they bartered and made a deal of sorts where the demons would live in the underworld for the foreseeable future, while the rest of humanity rests on the surface world, thus claiming the entire continent as their home. So 18 years later, Alexandra was born, and she was raised and trained by her parents to be a monster slayer. So they were getting her into their trade. And, you know, she was a pretty happy-go-lucky girl for the most part. Intense sometimes because of her training, but generally a very sweet girl. And on her 18th birthday, her parents were killed by the same Demon King's general named Kragatoth, the Fire Spitter.
Yeah, thanks for the birthday present, asshole.
Yeah, he essentially tracked her parents down and killed them for what they did to his king. And Alex was actually next on the list because, you know, can't have their spawn, in his words, roll around. But miraculously, Alex manages to remove him of his eye. It was not an easy fight for her, though, and she nearly died. And the ensuing battle essentially left her with a sort of tag lock. A very specific kind of curse that grants the person who cursed her with his same eyes. So people and monsters alike would be afraid of her because she has the same colored eyes as him. So she's considered a devil touched. Someone to be condemned and feared, but Alex decided to use that to her advantage. So after an encounter with a Rendilo that ran away from her upon seeing her, she decided to make that part of her identity. So that's how she got her moniker.
And, you know, I will say, I do think that's something rather interesting in terms of, like, a dynamic between the Rise to Superior and, like, Phantom of the Forest, because, like, Kamiko is in the midst of a war involving demons, whereas Alex is kind of going through a story where we're dealing with the aftermath of that kind of war.
An aftermath that is slowly going to rise again, permitting certain events.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's a monster slayer in an era of peace, but there's definitely something brewing under the surface that, if I write it right, creates tension, because the people involved may not exactly be the good guys either.
Yeah. He goes outside for 30 seconds because looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
Yeah, you say that, but, like, Phantom of the Forest has a lot of influences from, you know, things that I love. So Lord of the Rings is definitely one of them. Like, come on. Alex is basically, you know, she dresses like Aragorn, but with more armor.
Yeah.
And he's a ranger like her. So, a wild man who, wanders the countryside helping people, and guiding them through the forest and whatnot. So, not to mention, I write halflings very unapologetically very close to hobbits, because fuck you, it's my story, I do what I want. It's just, you know, it's fun to me. It may be tropey, but it's the story I want to tell, so I'm gonna tell it my way, and
listen,
in a way that I appreciate.
And listen, regardless of such, it still makes you want to cuddle Fira, because she's adorable.
Yeah, Fira, on that subject, is one of Alexandra's childhood friends. She's 27 years old and a merchant. Oh, I should say what Alex's age is, too, shouldn't I? She's 28.
Man, 10 years older than Kamiko.
Yeah, Alex is an adult, and that was by design. I wanted to work with an older protagonist because not a lot of stories feature adults, and you know, not to knock all those great anime stories or you know stories involving young kids doing great things, but it's just like you know, I want to go a more classic approach and work with a woman, an adult young woman. So that's why Alex is 28. So pushing 30, meaning she's been a monster slayer for like a decade. It's also to help establish that even if she faces off against these supernatural creatures and mutant abominations, or maybe even godlike beings, she can still overcome those obstacles. So, anyway, back to Fira. She is a merchant, a traveling merchant, no less, and that was actually taken from her role in the first D&D campaign I ever ran, which actually featured Brian's character Riona, in the Abode, where she essentially did the same thing. She was on a boat though and not on land, so that was an easy conversion. And yeah, Fira is very, very kind, very sweet, very persuasive too. You could be like the most evil son of a bitch in the world, and she would scold you like she was your mother, and you would listen because you're a monster if you hate Fira Stoutheart.
You know what? I feel like she would be. I feel like she would also be a person who, like, if Fira heard about some of the ways that Chrome was treated back at home, she'd be like, "Who are they? I just want to talk."
It's could you tell me the name, sweetheart?
I don't think it would be necessary. Thank you.
Oh, nonsense! I just want to talk to them. That's all. Have a little chat, maybe some tea.
You have a rather aggressive tone. I apologize.
Oh, it's not aggressive. It's just negotiative.
You just hear Twilight in the back. Go for the ankles.
So yeah, unlike some of the other characters in the series, Fira doesn't start out as much of a fighter because you know she's a little halfling lady, and she's not really equipped for combat. That is until she rediscovers an ability that all halflings have, the ability to turn invisible at will. So that's another holdover from Lord of the Rings, and I will not apologize. I love Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But they need the One Ring to do it. Halflings in my world can just do it naturally.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that because if I recall, I think they actually needed the ring to do that.
Yeah, the One Ring's power is turning the user invisible. It's also a cursed item that makes everyone in its vicinity an asshole, a greedy asshole who would do anything to get it in their hands.
Yeah, thanks, Sauron.
Yeah. Sauron was an asshole, but yeah. Generally, Fira is a very friendly character, probably the friendliest in the entire series of Phantom of the Forest. So I guess we can talk about one of the least friendliest characters and one of the main ones. So I can also talk about what I've changed so far. So Alexandra's best friend and love interest is the half-elf Sabra Separate. So another influence I had when writing Phantom of the Forest is The Witcher, which is another dark fantasy series that's definitely worth checking out. So if Alex is the Geralt of my series, then Sabras is definitely the Yennefer. So very opinionated, set in her ways, kind of a total bitch to everyone who's not her friend. So like if you look at her a certain way, she'll just look back at you, widen her eyes, and then promptly tell you to fuck off, and she's busy. So she's very guarded. But that has a lot to do with her backstory, which is one of those things where once you understand a person and why they react in such a way, you totally get where they're coming from. So naturally, she's probably the most gifted mage in all the Clepia. So in my original draft of Phantom of the Forest, I originally had it so it was like D&D land, where, you know, there are mages of all sorts running around. But that actually breaks a hallmark of dark fantasy that I did not realize. Magic is dangerous and or hard to understand. And I decided for this go-around to make it both. So magic is a sort of science in my world. It's still being studied and understood by qualified mages. Otherwise, it's magic is a governmentally sanctioned part of the world, at least according to the royal family. Anyone who's not a licensed mage is deemed a criminal, and Savras has essentially been on the run, you know, casting spells regardless of such, which I think adds to her withdrawn personality. That is, unless Alex is in the room with her, then she's like the most loyal person you could ask for.
And you know what? It's like, yeah, we got ourselves a lesbian couple, so queer community, rejoice! You guys win again.
Absolutely. Though I have been playing with the idea that Savras is gender fluid. So for a while she could feel like a woman, but then later on she'll start feeling more, you know, non-binary. So that's something I'm playing around in my head, but we'll see once I get back to writing. But generally, Savras is a character that's very hard to like at first, but she has the skills and the experience to back up her immense power.
Which I'd also will say, too, with that idea in mind, it might actually be rather interesting when we do eventually start getting onto this crossover, because, hey, what's the one thing Kamiko primarily uses for his stuff? Magic. Dragon magic, specifically.
Yeah. So, something I actually been developing on the sidelines for Dragons in My World is that they're probably the closest thing to divinity next to the gods themselves. Because, you know, dragons are the personifications of power. So I thought it would make sense for them to, you know, follow the same sidelines. There are some, you know, unruly sorts, of course, and that also led to, you know, the dragons essentially going into hiding. And many of them have taken on the forms of various races in the world. So some of them could be dragons in hiding. So you could see an elf, you know, working the bakery, but it's actually a dragon in disguise, or better yet, it could be a public official who's hiding as a dragon. Because the people on the surface haven't exactly been treating them with reverence and more like magical resources. So, yeah. Okay, just a quick test. I didn't blip at any point, did I?
No, you're fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I just got a
'Cause,
few Discord notifications.
That's fine. Yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes, because my new internet in my new place isn't exactly perfect. But it's workable, at least.
That's good.
So... Alright, who else? I suppose I can talk about the main antagonist, since we've been, you know, neglecting him for a little bit. So, the main antagonist of Phantom of the Forest is Kragatoth the Fire Spitter, the general to the demon army that is now set in the underworld. And just like Alex is out for revenge for what he did to her 10 years ago, he's out for revenge for the human world, essentially condemning all demonkind in the underworld. But not everything is as it seems with him, because with a general, you'd think, oh, so they're like big and dumb and they only care about battle, right? Wrong. Kragatoth is a schemer. He is cunning as well as completely adaptable in battle. And if you think that you have a beat on him, you'd be insanely wrong. He's very good at adapting on the fly, which makes him an incredibly dangerous opponent, probably even to his own kind.
I mean, well, I'm just sitting here with the possible descriptor people have of generals, like, oh, they're just big battle-hardy guys. You only like nothing but fighting and are just nothing other than that. Meanwhile, Omar over here, I take offense to that.
Yeah. So, biggest inspiration that I had for Kragatoth is Megatron from Transformers, specifically the Transformers Prime version of Megatron, who not only has the supreme might of what you'd expect from a Decepticon general, but also the cunning mind of his Beast Wars incarnation. And he's just like oozing with personality, and probably the best example of what I consider, writing for warlord characters, because warlords are probably one of my favorite kinds of villains, because of the dichotomy between, their profession and also who they are as people. And I definitely have a lot planned with Kragatoth, aside from the bare minimum. So one thing I can definitely tell you for free, just think about his motives whenever we see him, because they're almost never surface level.
You could say he's a shady prick.
Indeed. But yeah, like, I love writing for him. He's essentially all of my negativity boiled into a character for the sole satisfaction of killing him off later. Which is a kind of a therapeutic way of, writing antagonists. They could be, a person or a trauma that you've had, and the fact that you get to plan for their deaths is probably a way to move on from your own issues. So it's like, writing is like therapy that you make for yourself.
Yeah.
So, moving on from villainy and back to the main side of things, she doesn't get a lot of prominence right away, but another main character is someone who's going to be close to actually Riona's heart, Dora Caradwen.
In fact, that's actually a big reason we wanted to make this crossover, to make that pairing canon.
Yeah, because we made it canon in the Abode campaign because we had a whole carnival session, and part of that session was the two of them having a date, which was mostly off the cuff. And we just did it.
Yeah. Fake East.
Indeed. So there was a lot of Abode characters that I later imported to Phantom of the Forest because we ended up liking them so much that it's just like, we can't keep them in this game. they have to be their own people. Alex herself is actually like that because, you know, I wanted to play as her for D&D for so long, and, you know, with a couple of mishaps here and there, I realized that, like, okay, she's too big to be a D&D character. I'm just gonna write something with her.
Oh, here comes an ad break.
Yippee.
Time to get that ad revenue, so we'll see you guys in about a minute.
Hopefully it's just a minute.
Actually, Jordan, something I was actually kind of thinking with this piece that I'm working on.
Yeah?
So, what if I had Kamiko, like, currently equipped with electricity magic, thus turning his eyes yellow?
Oh, I like that. Do it.
All the reason why Alex would be here, too. Because she'd see the yellow eyes and just be like, is that another devil touched? And it's like, no, I'm just using electricity. Like, you're using what? Are you a magic user? Are you licensed? I have to be licensed to do that?
In Eclepia, yes.
Oh.
Which is like another point for Phantom of the Forest. Our characters will essentially be like rebels.
Yeah.
So like freeing magic users is one of them. So it's like many of the magic users that are in the story would likely be the exception and not the rule, which is why they're protagonists.
Yeah. Alright, welcome back from the ad break, everybody.
Yeah. So back to Dora. So she is 17 at the start of the story. Well, technically 16 in Arc 1 and then 17 in Arc 2, where she becomes a more prominent character. So she's the daughter of a priest in a little town called Oathburg. And she and her mom were essentially helping Alex try a method that a demonologist recommended her to try, which is the cleansing ritual, where essentially she gets baptized and absolved of the evil energies Kragatoth bestowed upon her. Doesn't work. And that little connection and Dora expressing her want for adventure eventually sets her upon the path of becoming someone more than, you know, head girl in her mom's church. Because we're playing with an amnesia angle. She's a kind and resourceful, dependable kid who feels like something's missing from her life, and her mom won't tell her what it is. Which is an immediate hook to that. And later in Arc 2, she'll be sent visions of the goddess of light, Melva, which is an important figure in the culture of her people, the Kale. And the Kale are essentially angels. They are angel people, similar to the Aasimar in D&D lore, but they have a lot of their own changes. For example, some of them are born with superpowers, which are gifts bestowed upon them by Melva herself, given at random at birth. So some of them could be, very gifted at healing, or they can generate a magical field that blocks things that, counteract it or nullify it. Some of them have super strength and flight. But the more powers they have, the less time they get to use them daily. So that's a bit of a limitation that I got the idea from while watching My Hero Academia, because if you know anything about All Might,
yeah,
he can only use his powers 3 hours a day, I believe.
Yeah, and then, like, later on throughout the series, after giving his quirk to Midoriya, he started only being able to use it less and less and less.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that, only a lot more culturally wide. And the Kale are a dying race because they descended from the heavens over, I think it's 600 years ago. And then their floating island got shot down by the demons and crashed into the sea. And then they enlisted the help of the royal family at the time, the Esther royal family, which ended up starting an event called the Battle of the Claim, which then led into the 30 Generation War, giving humanity a reason to fight the demons on a more consistent basis, and as the name implies, for 30 generations. So the Kale were big parts of Asclepia's history, especially since they're not from Asclepia.
They're from Asgard.
No. Asgard doesn't exist in my world. That being said, I have been taking a lot of inspirations from the real world mythologies of, our world. The biggest basis for the setting is Celtic mythology. So a lot of European folklore, influences from the different cycles of Irish history, and especially the creatures and monsters of our world. So we've got vampires, we've got werewolves, we've got slimes, we've got grindylows, trolls, even some creatures you haven't heard before like afangs and water leapers. So like a huge bestiary that I'm still adding to this day, because I want to be able to pull out all the stops for a very light Monster of the Week formula, so that way there's always some new adventures for these characters, and many of them are monster hunts. Because, our main character is a monster hunter,
And then Alex will end up having to investigate the most formidable of all creatures in a bestiary, anime.
Anime. A disgusting creature indeed.
The Kubiko's just like, excuse me?
And then Savras chimes in and says, yes, they're native to Alinor. Vile creatures indeed. Fuck them.
Kubiko's just like, did I accidentally offend someone?
But yeah, the main thing I'm trying to strike a balance with is, not appropriating elements of world cultures, because that is a very dangerous thing to do. So it's like, understand what you're doing before you play around with it. Which is why I'm using the Emerald Isles and all the mythologies surrounding them. So Ireland, Great Britain, Scotland, and Wales as my safety net, and the main basis for the setting. So definitely take ideas from different cultures, but understand them and don't appropriate them. Like, honor them, you know? In fact, one thing that you might have noticed, if you've ever seen Savris's design before, is that her kimono was on the wrong side of things. That was intentional, and well, you'll have to stay tuned in order to know what that is all about. Because there's a specific tradition that involves with how a kimono is folded or put on.
Yeah.
So that's your hint.
Man, so much Castlevania music playing back to back. I swear I had this on shuffle.
I don't mind. Castlevania is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, which Castlevania song is playing right now? Out of curiosity.
Divine Bloodline.
Yes! Rondo of Blood.
Yep.
Which I'm still trying to find an emulator for, by the way. If not, then I'll probably cave in and buy that one Castlevania collection that has it, and also the English dub.
Yeah. But yeah, we do in fact have an idea in mind to have Riona get a canon girlfriend.
And, you know, same thing for Dora. Although, one thing I'd like to ask you about is, would it be alright for Dora to go on several dates before settling in with Riona?
I mean, that's realistic. Sometimes people date multiple people before they end up finding someone that they like.
Yeah. Although the main sticking point with Dora's orientation is that she's a lesbian, so, like, you know, guys would definitely be interested in her, but Dora would just look at them like they grew a second head and went like, "I'm into girls."
Yeah. Well, actually, I think something that could also be an interesting angle to also go with as well is that there could be an instance where, I guess as a way of, like, self-discovery, like, perhaps Dora could at least try it once, and then just during that time, she's just like, I don't know, I'm kind of not feeling this.
That's a great angle. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. Because, like, fun fact, there was actually a guy that I knew in college who actually is gay, and he said that there was a time where, like, he did like try dating a woman at one point, and something in him just wasn't feeling it until eventually he ended up kind of figuring out, maybe it's because I'm gay.
Yeah, exactly. So Dora can definitely take influence from, you know, events like that.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, you know, she dates a guy who found her really cute, and they would go out for a little bit, and then Dora would just later feel like, I'm not feeling this exactly. Maybe it's best we break it off.
It's like, what? I'm sorry. It's not you. It's me. There's just something I'm not feeling about this.
And, you know, unlike most stories with like explosive breakups, we could demonstrate something that's very healthy and understanding. Sad, yes, but you know, very talked through. Because the main demographic for my story that I want to set into stone is for adults.
Yeah.
You know, young adults and up, because this is not going to be a family-friendly series. I want to honor my ancestors as much as possible, so there's going to be blood and gore. There's going to be sex. Yes, there are scenes in my story, and I am not sorry. It is part of the design, and obviously, you know, cursing and swearing up storms. And death, lots of it. death of children. Actually, there is a story. There is a moment in the story where Alex sees a dying young girl and sings her to sleep, an eternal sleep at that. And the main thing is that I want to play everything straight, so it's like hold nothing back. It's a disservice to a story like this to hold people's hands about it. Like, no, if someone's gonna die, they are going to have their skin flayed and they're going to feel every little inch of the claws and teeth in their body as the monster rips them apart.
Yeah. Taking notes from Berserk.
Yeah, Berserk, Castlevania, Doom.
Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the same time, I would also recommend not to go too overboard in some cases, because there's times where
it gets gratuitous.
Yeah, well, on top of that, it also just sometimes it can take a person out of it as well, because there is a such thing as ridiculously gory. Watch the Hatchet movies if you don't know what I'm talking about.
I mean, part of me feels like Amazon's version of Invincible gets like that too. I don't think I'm gonna go that far, because it's like, yeah, there's gonna be blood and gore, but it's not gonna be almost fetishizing it.
Yeah,
that's the wrong word to say, but it's something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of the Hatchet movies.
I've not, and I kind of don't want to find out.
Yeah, well, long story short, they're basically it's basically just your horror movie involving a serial killer out in the woods named Victor Crowley, and
okay.
Yeah, the way some of the people die in those movies is really over the top.
Yeah, I don't think I want to do that. I want it to be somewhat grounded,
yeah.
And I think the worst it gets is that there are mutants, and there's also a scene in which Alex skins a human.
Yep.
But she also has a reason to do it. It's not out of sadistic pleasure. She has a reason to do it.
Yeah,
and
there's a difference between using gore as an actual story or setting or establishment, and doing it for shock value.
Yeah, I don't want to do it for shock value. I want to do it on. I want to do it on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you want to do it with a purpose.
Yes. For the skinning scene that I mentioned, the purpose is to show what happens when you cross Alexandra,
mm-hmm.
and by do that is to threaten her friends,
yeah.
or endanger those who do not deserve to be endangered.
Yeah.
And it's also a call to nature, because have you heard what happens during a bear attack?
Yes.
Someone actually had a recording of their last moments as they were being mauled to death by bears.
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I heard it, and it was like, oh my god.
Well, see, here's the thing about that, Jordan. That's not even the official recording. That was that was a recreation.
Yeah, I can imagine the recreation sounds so much worse.
Yeah, no, they
definitely unlike Hollywood.
Yeah, no, they vaulted the original one out of respect for the family.
That's good. But even so, nature isn't all, meadows and bunny rabbits. Nature is about the force of weather. It's forest fires. It's torrential downpours, floods, ripping winds, hungry predatory animals, or idiots who traverse in the woods thinking that, we can do whatever we want here because we're humans and we can do whatever we want with it. But that is them fucking around and finding out.
Yeah.
And when they find out, it's generally not a pretty sight.
Yeah, which, I mean, unfortunately, in terms of, like, the guy we were talking about who ended up having that recording of the bear mauling him, yeah, that was one of those instances. I got a little too cocky around bears.
Exactly, precisely. So, it also goes into how I'm writing Alex, you know, not just as a person, because, that's the main idea. Of course, we're going to write the main character as a person. But also her ascension into a legend. And a force of nature. Because, you know, her moniker and, you know, her eyes and what she does to protect people from monsters is indicative to her force of nature status. And, you know, she doesn't adhere to authority because it's ultimately getting in the way of her goals. So there will be moments where she just stares a royal in the face while they tell her, if you resist, this is how it's going to go down, and she'll just stand there, still as a tree, and essentially going Captain America and going, no, you move.
Yeah. Can I be your sidekick?
Which, by the way, that line was originally said by Cap himself, not Sharon. Not by Sharon Carter.
Anywho, so Jordan, I did find one clip from Hatchet where it's like, I showed this to Danny, and holy crap, she was in hysterics. Because it's like, oh my god, this is so ridiculous.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to watch the whole thing, but... Okay. Nope. Clicking away. I didn't even get to the kill part. It was just like, the anticipation got to me too much. No thanks.
Yeah, I mean, you could just scroll to the point where it happens.
Okay. Still no thanks. Which I guess is another part of my self-training. I'm trying to develop a resistance to gore. It's a sort of like, you know, developing a tolerance for spicy food,
yeah.
Which I'm making substantial progress on. Gore is probably not one of them. Because I've seen some of the shit that happens in Invincible, and I think these people need to be institutionalized.
And then you go to see Mortal Kombat.
Oh, I know what happens in Mortal Kombat. That's why I swore off from the series. Unless when it comes to story elements, because part of me does like the story from Mortal Kombat. I don't know what it is. There's just something about it.
I think part of it is also just because that Mortal Kombat also knows that its idea is stupid and it just goes with it.
Yeah. And I do love their interpretation of Omni-Man quite a bit. Like, my favorite line from him ever is, "Stop, please. Don't hit me with rolls his eyes with water." Like, the eye roll makes it for me. It's like, wow. That's respect to the character.
Yeah.
And Omni-Man is awesome too, so that's part of it.
Yeah. And now you can recreate the death battle between him and Homelander.
Not without the iconic lines, though, because David Zaslav and Warner Brothers hate Death Battle
Yeah.
animation.
Actually, speaking of such, so Jordan, did you hear about the news involving Ruby?
Viz Media purchased them.
Yep. So yeah,
Ruby saved.
Yeah, Ruby was saved.
Thank God for that too.
Yeah.
Because like I knew they would have a way out of that.
Yeah. And like, it's like this. The fact that, whatever your opinions on Ruby are, you know, they're whatever. But the fact that these people are doing everything in their power to, like, keep Monty Oom's dream alive, I think is very touching. And just shows just how much they respect the man.
Yeah, it's...
Scarlet!
Oh, hey.
Scarlet, thank you for the raid of 12! Hello, everyone! My name is Realm Wars. I'm a PNG tuber who predominantly does artwork. Welcome to day 6 of the lore-a-thon, where I'm actually in the middle of doing some crossover art with one of Jordan's characters here.
Hello.
Yeah, let me get you your shout-out, Scarlet. So yeah, I don't think I even need to ask how your stream was, because I was there for some of it. I thought it was going great. Yeah, you were putting stuff away. You were getting stuff sorted out. But anywho, so I'm actually going to zoom up to show you the art that is going on. I also want to say, Bake Mama Amber, thank you for following. But yeah, guys, if you haven't followed Scarlet Otaku yet, please feel free to do so, right? That is my sister over the internet. She's great. I love her. She's wonderful. Just popping to say hi, phone running out. That's fine, Silverclad. You get that phone taken care of. You get that thing plugged in, or else it's gonna die, and it won't be fun. But yeah, welcome everyone to the stream. I do currently have days 1 through 4 uploaded on my YouTube. If you want to get a bit checked up on some of the lore that I've been covering involving my characters. Yesterday we actually did day 5 talking about Amara, the general of the Dragon Army, and today I decided, since I have, hope the art is going well. Yeah, it is going very well. In fact, I've already got this is basically what it's going to be looking like. I wanted like a centerpiece at the very least, in order to just kind of get an idea of how I wanted the poses to look like. I'll be adding like the background element stuff later, but this is how I ended up, this is what I ended up starting out with when initially drawing these two together. But yeah, so this is an image that involves both the main character of my story, The Rise of Superior, with Jordan's main character to his story, Phantom of the Forest. I call this image Phantom of the Superior.
Apt.
Very apt. One thing I'll also mention too, since some of you guys are in fact just jumping in here. So, as you can see on the left here, that is going to be the schedule for the entire month of the lore-a-thon, because this is going to be a month-long event where I talk about all of my stuff that I'm going to be doing. Also, just figure I might go back to Just Chill screen for a second, because we do have follower goals that I'm hoping to push a bit more on here, and we are getting closer to the first follower goal at 200, where once we reach 200 followers, I will be holding an art raffle for a free art piece of you choosing to have Kamiko fight whoever it is that you want. This will be a free art piece that you get once we reach 200 followers, and whoever will win yeah, that's what you'll get when you win the raffle, but we gotta get to 200 first.
Yeah, so help him reach that goal, please.
Yeah, let's help reach that goal, because we got other ones that are going to be going, because that won't be the only art raffle I will be holding. Yeah, I guess some of it will be okay. I'll draw some ship art with some of my own Cs, maybe ship art of other characters that you want when we get to other higher goals. And yeah, that last goal that you saw, that's not bait. No, if we end up reaching to that big ultimate goal, one of you will get a free NSFW piece from me. I will not be streaming it though.
Because Daddy Twitch doesn't like that.
Yeah, but you gotta work for that one. But yeah, just kick back, relax, enjoy the artwork as me and Jordan just talk about the characters that we've made up for our stories, and yeah, just hope you guys all have a good time. But yeah, Scarlet, if you do need to raid and you do need to raid and run, that's perfectly fine, very understandable, because I mean you did just get done with your streams, And yeah, I just hope you have a good rest of the day.
Yeah, thanks for the raid, though.
Yeah, very much thank you for the raid. So hello, Witcher music.
Yeah. Is that the Blood and Wine one? Hang on. Yes!
Yeah, much appreciated, Realm. Love your faces. Love your face too, Scarlet. Skittle O-Take.
That's certainly a name. I mean, if this can exist,
This guy, Real M. Warsaw.
suck in that. So,
We're never gonna get over it. We're never gonna drop it.
we're also never gonna drop.
No, we're not.
Oh god, the Bobby Zilch dance to Jom's pork.
Yeah. God, imagine that kind of crossover. Phantom of the Forest and Psychonauts.
It'd be interesting, because I do plan on incorporating cartoony elements to the artwork, because, you know, I grew up with cartoons, I like cartoons, so yeah. There may be elements of Toon Force somewhere in there, but, you know, it's going to be very sparing.
Like, you just see Kragata just looking in dismay, just being like, what is he doing?
What are you doing?
Dancing.
I'm distracting you, stupid!
I'm distracting you, Chuckle Nuts. Oh god, imagine putting a psycho portal on Alex's head.
That'll certainly be a journey.
Yeah,
Not a pleasant one.
And it's like, so tell me, Rasputin, right? How old are you again? I'm 10.
Oh, good lord.
I had to solve a grandpa's depression.
By Melva, a child.
Savra just comes in. I brought milk. Please don't talk about the milk.
Honestly, I think that would be more like Fira's thing. I brought milk. Oh, you're not. You must be allergic. Okay. I'll just put this away. Would you like tea instead?
Oh no! It's not that I'm allergic. It's just. And he just starts having flashbacks to the Milkman conspiracy.
I feel like there's some baggage regardless.
Like, did you say emotional baggage?
And then Dora takes the milk and just chugs it. Oh, milk. Thanks, Dora. Fira.
It's like, this milk is delicious. Well, welcome back from the ad break, guys.
Yeah, we weren't talking about milk.
Yeah, milk.
Milk.
By the way, something that I also did during when talking about my characters is that I actually did bring up like headcanon voice actors who I would imagine like how the characters would sound. What about for your guys?
Okay, well, for a while, for Alex, we can start with her. I've always had the headcanon of Lisa Hannigan being the voice of Alex, because, you know, she has that natural whisper to her, so, which would be perfect for this quiet, understated person. But the minute you cross her, it grows darker and darker. It's sinister. But Karen Gillan of Nebula fame from Guardians of the Galaxy actually recorded on-set footage of her, you know, doing the movie of Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And she has this little technique she likes to do where she record everyone's lines in their, like, voices. And I think, you know what, if if not Lisa Hannigan, then Karen Gillan might be a good replacement, if not better.
Yeah.
She even has Celtic descent, so that's even perfect. Ideally, I would like an Irish actress to play my Irish character.
Yeah.
For Savras, ideally, I think Erika Ishii would be a great choice. I don't actually know any of their roles, but I think that energy and that presence would be perfect for someone like Savras. Otherwise, I'm open to also I'm open to Kelly Hu possibly being an option, but generally I want someone who can carry that sass and energy that Savras would have.
Like Kelly who?
Yeah. HU, not WHO.
Yeah.
But yeah, for Fira, Karina Reeves, she was Fiora in Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah.
To me, she's the only natural choice.
My wife.
Yeah. She has a cute and friendly voice, which fits a cute, friendly character. Perfect. For Dora, for a while I thought I wanted Sky Bennett to voice her, but you know, given how unprofessional they were in recent years, I figured maybe we should get someone else for her. So like, I'm actually still thinking about who would be a good voice for Dora. It's got to be someone. It's got to be someone youthful, but also capable of getting like really fucking intense. Because one thing I applied to Dora for Phantom of the Forest is that she has a love of battle, which is at first an understated part of her, but then she gets like more scrappy over the course of the story.
I might know someone that could fit that.
All right.
Trina Nishimura. That is the English voice for Mikasa Ackerman.
Oh.
And also the voice of Kyoka Jiro from My Hero Academia.
Okay. I need to hear voices somewhere. If not that, then maybe like a Welsh actress, because Caradwen is a Welsh name, I believe. Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh no, Caradwen was an enchantress in Welsh medieval England. Yeah, so even more so. Oh, she was in Smite. Hang on. Oh, this is a lot more helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, if not that, then I guess if you want to pull a Heaton and just be like, let's get someone from Critical Role, maybe Marisha Ray.
Marisha Ray or Ashley Johnson?
Yeah.
Oh, Ashley Johnson would be great, actually.
Yep. And you know what? She'd be playing another lesbian.
And another cleric. Because she was Pike.
Yeah.
In Vox Machina. No, Trina actually works too. Alright, so it's between those two.
Yeah. I mean, there's some characters where I have, like, multiple headcanon voices for.
Right. Kragatoth, ideally, I would want Frank Welker or Fred Tatasciore.
Either way, it'll be a Fred.
Exactly. What manner of treasures have you uncovered, RC? Dude can't say treasure.
No.
You know what? I might apply that to Kragatoth too.
Just always put an accent mark above the E.
Yeah. Find the treasures, no matter the cost.
Phantom, I see you have come to unlock my treasures.
And then Savras pipes in and says, I'm sorry. Say that again?
Do you really need me to repeat that you are seeking my treasures?
Why do you pronounce it like that?
Do you laugh in the face of a demon?
No, I laugh in the face of a despot, you son of a bitch.
Now you get the line art on Alex done.
Oh my god. So there's some screenshots of the Shadow short for Shadow Generations.
I've seen it.
They're doing it! They're bringing Shadow back!
They're bringing him back to his former glory. And you know
Are
what?
they actually going to redo the Maria death scene?
Yeah, and you know what?
I mean, not that I'm excited to see a child die, but it's more like I want them to capture the emotions that Shadow had.
Yeah, and you know what? How appropriate that it was Scarlet who raided into us because she loves Shadow.
Shadow is incredible, and I'm like... I'm really angry with what they did with him recently and what they've been doing for, since the 2010s. No, not even that. Since Shadow the Hedgehog.
Actually,
they made him into a fucking asshole.
Actually, Jordan, I don't know if you heard about, I think it was at the Sonic Symphony concert. Where they were showing clips from Shadow the Hedgehog, and once Maria got shot, the audience cheered.
Oh god, I know that. It's like, why would you cheer about that? It's like, why?
Yeah, child murder.
It's like, I worry for our youth.
Yeah, like all the parents that are concerned in the movie theater when everyone cheers for the little girl getting shot.
They better not actually cheer.
Yeah, they're just like, what is wrong with these people?
And then they talk to them after the movie. What the hell is wrong with you? Oh, we're Sonic fans. Say no more.
It's like when a Sonic fan cheers when they see the moon getting blown up.
Yeah, I hope they treat Shadow with all the reverence in Sonic Movie 3. Because, like, I'm worried that they're going to play the villain angle with him, and that's too easy. Come on. Shadow worked in Sonic Adventure 2 because he was sad. Not because he was evil. Yeah, he was going after humanity, but that's also because he misinterpreted Maria's final wish to him because of his lack of memory. Because, he's been asleep for 50 years.
Yeah.
Someone pointed this out about Shadow, and it, like, really reopened my eyes to how amazing he was. But the only reason I felt like he should have stayed dead in Sonic Adventure 2 is because, they didn't know what to do with him afterwards. Sonic 06 and Sonic Heroes did him really well. Like, Sonic 06 more so. He was damn near perfect in that game.
The only thing they got right.
Yeah, the only thing they got right. Shadow was perfect all the way through, which, not for nothing, it's kind of one of the main reasons I keep coming back to Sonic 06. Because they did Shadow so perfectly well.
If the world chooses to be against me, I'll fight like I always have.
But yeah.
Yeah, we're getting more done on the Alex here.
Yippee.
Meanwhile, I'm sure like Iwa Kenja's like, dude, you had a girl roll over on your back. It's not like that, Iwa Kenja. Believe me, she's someone you really do not want to mess with.
Come on, at least tell me her name.
Her name was Alex. And for the record, she's not interested in guys.
Damn it!
No, Iwa Kenja would be like, hey, neither am I. We have something in common.
Meanwhile, if like any of the other characters were there, they'd be like, okay, Alex would just furrow her eyebrows. Sophros would probably go in and punch him. Fiora would just giggle to herself, and Dora would probably look at him going like, what is wrong with you?
It's like, you're one of those guys.
He's, oh, you're one of those guys. That being said, for the crossover, I kind of want Iwa Kenja and Dora to build something of a friendship.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also, I guess it also just depends when we're like doing some kind of planning, like how many of them like we plan to actually bring over.
Yeah, that's another thing too.
Because the thing is, as much as I would love to see like Amara bonding over with Chiari, I feel like considering just what the dragons also mean in the world of Eclipia, it might just be kind of weird just to be like, oh look, it's a dragon.
Kill it!
The Mars like, good luck.
But yeah, like, you reminded me, thank you. I didn't talk about Chiari yet.
Yep.
Let's stick with Chiari, it's my character. So, Chiari is the, Minotaur, barbarian in, my story. She's another monster slayer like, Alex's parents and Alex herself. And, she also served as Alex's godmother after her parents passed away. So while her parents taught her how to be a monster slayer, Chiari helped Alex get out into the world and actually apply her trade. She also knew the necessary connections to help Alex establish further connections with existing monster slayers, which isn't a lot. An ongoing plot thread is that there are very few monster slayers when there should be more, considering that monsters are the most active at nighttime.
Yeah.
Which is actually something I'm considering maybe playing around with a little bit more, because sure, the cities are walled, and they're advised to never go out at night because that's when monsters are most active. Yet there are monsters that still, roam in the overworld during the daytime, like griffins. Thinking about it more, wouldn't it make sense for monsters to be active like 24/7?
Well, probably not every race, but like just maybe some could be like diurnal.
Yeah, some monsters are diurnal, but there's also others like werewolves that obviously they are more active at nighttime because they're cursed beings, and their powers activate at nighttime, and vampires are really adverse to sunlight, so they're nocturnal too.
Yep. Vampires.
Yeah, okay, we figured it out. Yeah. No, thinking about it more, I think I already internally solved that myself. I just didn't realize it until I thought about it out loud.
Yeah, so you put it in the words.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it happens.
Yeah. Damn, I thought of everything.
Yes. There are no mistakes, Jordan, just happy little accidents.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob Ross.
I miss Bob Ross.
Yeah, we all miss Bob Ross. And if you don't know who Bob Ross is, he was a wholesome painter. And he gave very good art advice to people.
Yeah, and you can find collections of his videos online.
Yeah, and I think actually I think there actually is like a Twitch page that like marathons all of his stuff on it.
There is, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this piece is coming together.
Also, I noticed that Caratrolla is playing. Awesome.
Yeah. That it is.
Like, Witcher 3 has an incredible soundtrack, but, like, the Skellige half of it, you know, considering Skellige was based off of, you know, the Vikings, and their culture is centered around raiding and clans. It's very, very Celtic and Norse, actually. So it was like a good fusion of both. And very near and dear to my heart, so that's probably why Skellige is my favorite area in the game.
Yeah.
I should definitely look more into their plans. It could help me out.
You could.
So I've actually been going over developmental notes in Phantom of the Forest, and a new development for me is let me find it.
He's finding it, folks. Give him time.
Yeah. And I also have a bunch of notes. Okay. Oh wait, that's not it. Oh, maybe it's in here. Okay, here we go. So, Eclipia is essentially what would have happened to Ireland if the Romans successfully conquered it. Cretaria is if, Wales never had rainfall. League of Fjal's beautiful landscape is slowly being industrialized and its historical monuments destroyed. So, a Scotland without its pride. And Eleanor is essentially Ireland, but overrun by magic. So definitely leaning into, kind of like, a, post-apocalyptic sort of world, but not really. It's taking elements of what happened in real life, but, you know, distorting them for this fictional world.
Yeah, and I also like see that it can also just be seen as like it's like I mentioned earlier into the stream. It's a story that begins with it's a story that we kind of get at the beginning where we see where we're living through the aftermath of a massive war.
Yeah, but there's definitely something worse brewing under the surface, and that's where the tension of the main narrative comes in.
Yeah.
So, it's not willy-nilly, it's a Monster of the Week story. No. Not only do the main characters have a goal in mind, but there's also something that we're worried that they'll have time to prepare for on top of all that.
Yeah, like it can generally kind of work as like a Monster of the Week story to start out with, just to kind of like get people to understand how the world itself works, until eventually kicking off with like the actual main plot itself.
Yeah.
Because funny thing is, that's actually how Lego Monkey Kid was.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because like
then again, that's also how Clone Wars was like.
Yeah, because it started out very Monster of the Week, got you used to the characters until eventually, like, at around the 3rd season is when we started getting an overarching plot.
Yeah.
Still no news on season 5 though. We haven't gotten anything on when that's happening.
Yeah. In terms of shows getting renewals, Castlevania Nocturne, thankfully, is still being worked on.
Alright. Yeah,
because, yeah.
I did hear... I did, like, kind of hear that I guess Nocturne just wasn't getting as well received compared to, like, the first 4 seasons of Castlevania.
No, not really. In fact, I personally think it wrote itself into a corner. Yeah. So, like, wasn't there a villain in Naruto who was kind of like that? You know, they got so powerful, not even the writer knew what to do.
Yeah, his name was Madara Uchiha.
Yeah, so the main antagonist, Urzabet, kind of went into that status.
Yeah. Yeah, and
it's like, yeah, Alucard's here now, but it's like, and in general, it's sort of like, I enjoyed the characters overall. It's just, I'm looking at all these vampire nobles and going like, okay, what exactly happened, that the Belmonts weren't as on top of this as they should be? Because if they were, we wouldn't have so many vampires running around. Why are they ruling France?
No, see, you want to know why? Because I can answer that question very easily. Because they skipped over Simon.
God damn it.
Yeah, if
they
Simon
really did, though.
If Simon were here, that would never have happened.
I mean, I guess another reason why they didn't want to do a Simon story is because, you know, they already redeemed Dracula. Yeah. But I'm like, I don't know, even in the context of the Castlevania games, Dracula was more of like a vessel for chaos than his own person.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, there was the memory of the man in his body, but that's eventually stifled from how powerful chaos is.
Yeah. Well, I also think, too, it's like the earlier Castlevania titles, I think was just... I think it was before they really established, like, all the whole, like, the lore between involving, like, Dracula and being, like, an avatar for chaos. Like, it really was just... It really was just kind of, oh, here's a video game where you can beat up, like a lot of the classic monsters, including Dracula, alright? Go nuts.
Yeah, that's definitely true, but I would say that the deepening of the lore started as early as Symphony of the Night. Because, you know, in Dracula's Curse, the 3rd game on the NES, Alucard is a character there. He sucks, by the way. And him being Dracula's son was more of like a throwaway line and more like a reason for you to have him in the party. Otherwise, Alucard didn't have a lot of importance. He was just an ally for you to recruit, and nowhere near as fun as he would become in Symphony of the Night. Yeah. Like, the dude got a beautiful amount of rest.
Yeah, that man got an upgrade.
Exactly. And it wasn't until they added that depth to his character that made Alucard and Castlevania the way it is today. Yeah. Because compared to Sypha and Grant, Alucard was kind of a nothing burger of a character. Yeah. Like, if you've seen anything for Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, Jeeble plays exactly like he does. Yeah. He just flings bats, turns into a bat, nothing else.
Yeah, meanwhile, people who've only seen the Netflix Castlevania are probably looking at you like, wait a minute, who the fuck is Grant?
Oh yeah, the creator went on record saying he hated Grant, and that's why he's not in the story. Like, fuck that. That may also be why Hector was underpowered and Isaac was, well, Isaac changed for the better, I think. But Hector was actually really cool in his game. You probably never heard of this game, but it was on the PS2. It's called Castlevania Curse of Darkness. And you played as Hector throughout the game, and he initially started out on a quest for revenge because it was implied that Isaac killed his lover, Rosalie, and Isaac basically was forced to reconnect with his Forge Master abilities, and you get to summon monsters. You're a summoner fighter character, basically. It was really inventive, and you even get to battle with Trevor a couple times.
Well, I'm just sitting here. I'm like, Maria did it first.
Yeah, Maria, I think did it a little better, but I can definitely commend what they were trying to do with Hector in Curse of Darkness.
Yeah.
Plus, Trevor's boss battle theme is really cool.
Yeah. Oh no, ad break. Well, have fun with those guys.
Yeah. But yeah, there's trying to think of what else the games do. Well, Trevor, I think, was upgraded for the better too, because in the game universe, he's kind of everything that you would expect. You know, a typical hero character.
Yeah, like very one note.
Yeah, but Netflix upgraded him because, you know, he was his family was excommunicated from the church, and he was basically forced to live life on the run, ashamed and defeated, and not without all the tools necessary to fight monsters because the people that he was sworn to protect cast him out.
Yeah.
But he still has that kernel of goodness in him.
Would you please leave my testicles alone?
So one thing I didn't even notice on my first watch of Castlevania is Trevor said he never lost a fight to man or beast, and he walks out of the bar. Have you noticed anyone else following him? No. Never mind. Okay. Wait for him.
Alright. Yeah. Sorry, that was my mom. She was asking me if she wanted me to help make dinner, and I'll do that in a bit.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, Trevor walked out of the bar, which implies he won the fight.
Yeah.
Not without getting a couple nicks in, though.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
he held true to his word.
It's like, oh, hell. I was trying to get the steak out of your hand. How's your finger?
What fucking finger? Well, that's no way for a man of the cloth to talk.
And then he whips out a dude's eye.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, whips are dangerous in the right hands.
Yep.
And it's interesting, too, because Trevor's fighting style involves a lot of gathering of momentum.
Yep.
Which was, you know, necessary for the whips to work in the first place. And I think that's interesting. So, another discrepancy. I think the creator of the Netflix series happened to like the dagger item, which is why Trevor used that the most, rather than, you know, the actual good items, the holy water and the cross.
Yep.
He got the cross later, but it's like, you should have started with this.
See? Symbols of the cross.
Mm-hmm. Did the vampire hunter die in India? Because the vampire he was fighting wouldn't have the slightest clue of what he's seeing. Actually, no. See, vampires are an advanced predator species. Turns out if you put a giant geometric shape in front of the faces, it scrambles the shit out of the brains and, you know, makes them panic.
So they're cats.
You know, Hector did attribute them to cats, too.
Yeah.
Which led to a funny conversation between him and Isaac. It's cats play their food. Well, cats do it out of pleasure. It's not malicious. Not for the food.
It's like, oh, so is that why my Lenore is so precious?
I mean, she is kind of cute, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Not cute in the romantic way, but more like I just want to come up to her and hug her.
Yeah. It's like, you will not take advantage of my kindness, will you? No, Lenore. I promise I won't. I know you're a big, strong vampire who could probably kill me. I will not forget that.
Yeah. And we understand that you see humans as lesser beings, but we are talking on equal levels, right? Like, I know you want to make us your pets, but wouldn't we be more useful to you if we were equals? Diplomating the diplomat.
Yes.
Yeah, give her something to think about.
Honestly, I feel like she'd be more impressed with that. It's like, the fact that you even tried.
Yeah. Honestly, Lenore was probably the friendliest vampire in that series. I still disagree because Dion got on my case about it, but like, dude, she's not a malicious person. She was just, being a diplomat for her group. That doesn't mean that she was out to get people. It's just, she's doing things according to her culture.
Right, and also, to be fair, Hector was kind of asking for it.
Hector was kind of asking for it, yeah. Because it's also based on his interpretation in the Netflix series that Hector is kind of inexperienced, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, Dracula attributed him to, like, a child in a man's body.
Yeah. Yeah, but also it's just like, I'll even say this on the lines of, like, what, I'll say this in the lines of, like, what Letter was saying, with that kind of conversation where it's like, sure, she may not have been, like, the most ruthless of all of, the vampires. She still at the very least was on their side.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, being evil does not... there's different types of evil. Like, you can be evil, but not be, like, malicious. I mean, that's what Saturday morning cartoon characters are. Like, they're evil, but not malicious.
Yeah, for sure. It's just, they also demonstrated that vampires had their own culture and, philosophy. So, she was just acting according to what she knew. She was definitely on the evil side. I'm not, knocking against that. It's just, if she wanted to kill Hector, she would have done it by now, you know?
And also
I would say she's more neutral.
Yeah, she definitely starts becoming more on the neutral side, like, later in the series.
Right.
Yeah. And then the sun came up.
Yeah.
And then you have Carmilla.
Fuck Carmilla. Another character who benefited from the adaptation. Yeah, because, like, a lot of things benefited from the Netflix adaptation, but, other than that, a lot of things were kind of either stripped or misconstrued, or, like, dragged out to do the runtime.
Yeah.
That being said, Alucard wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
Like, his whole little subplot in the later seasons was like, what are you guys doing to him? Come on.
But let us never forget, you must be the Belmont.
That was perfect. Like, Dracula was probably the best written character in the entire show. Yeah. Isaac being like in the same league.
Yeah, I just love the idea where, like, he's just constantly getting punched in the face. He's just like, there's only one person who'd be this batshit insane to just walk up to the Prince of Darkness and start throwing hands with him. So, Belmont, hey, how are the wife and kids?
Mm-hmm. Like, Belmont, how are you? How's the family?
Punch in the gut.
I mean, mad respect to Dracula for holding back.
Yeah.
Because he could have easily punched a hole through Trevor's stomach.
He could.
Why didn't he do that? Oh, then again, there would be a show.
Yeah, there would be. I don't know. Maybe,
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I don't know, but maybe to Dracula, he probably just got those punches from Trevor. He's like, you know what? I can respect it, Belmont. Put it there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he doesn't transform like in the games.
No.
Like, he doesn't have a second phase. I mean, not every Dracula fight has a second phase, but most of them do, so that's why I'm...
Beaten by a little girl? No! Not possible!
Probably the funniest outcome of that. Which is funny because Maria is basically the easy mode of Rondo of Blood.
Yep. And then you get to the start of Symphony of the Night where they recreated the ending of that. It's like, and that's how I defeated Dracula once and for all. That's bullshit!
That's bullshit! Oh. Another off-topic thing. How Izuka and Sonic Team created Shadow. Created in 1999, rival character for Sonic. Sonic Team was inspired by Spawn to create a dark hero. And that's why we had Terios at first. And then they were like, let's turn him into Shadow.
You know the funny thing about that, though? In the comics, Sonic would actually cross over with Spawn.
Oh shit, you're right. The Archie comics were certainly a thing.
Yeah. But you know what? It's a good thing eventually they're like, you know what? Ken Penders is pretty bad for our series. Let's get Ian Flynn instead.
Thank you, Ian Flynn.
Yeah, thank you,
so
Ian Flynn.
that's twice he saved Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, that's why I say Ian Flynn's official job for Sega is damage control.
I was about to say the same thing, like, because it's like he's really good at what he does. He understands his lore, and it's just I can see why even Sega themselves were like, okay, you know what? Let's just hire a guy who actually knows how to write a story. Mr. Flynn, can you come to the offices, please? Which is why I'm hoping that they give him like full control over what to do. And I know people in the comments are probably gonna like, no, don't give him full control. He's gonna ruin everything. Ruin everything? Like what? Actually tell a good fucking story? What is wrong with you? Why do you think he's like Satan's next shit child?
I'm sorry. I began losing more and more faith in the Sonic community the moment that they decided to make how Sonic looks when he's jumping a fucking discourse.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, so there was a video that was going around where they were trying to talk about how, like, oh, so this is why I hate Sonic's design in 06 compared to other ones, and he was basically like, okay, so when you see Sonic jump in the Adventure 1 games, he curls up perfectly into a ball no matter what direction he's facing in. It's always a perfect circle. But then you go to 06, on the sides he's a perfect circle, but when you look at him at the front or back and he jumps, he looks like a tire.
What are you talking about?
It's like,
he's still spherical. The silhouette is still spherical, and it looks cool. Like, he is spinning really fast in a circular shape. Are you brain dead?
it's like,
If anything, I would knock how Frontiers does it, because he turns into a perfect circle, and that's the problem. There's no in-between animations for that. It's just he jumps circle. It's kind of boring.
It's like, and here I thought bitching about him having green eyes was dumb, but no, somehow you managed to raise the bar.
Which is also weird because I don't know about you, but I've actually been seeing the positive side of the Sonic fan base a lot lately on my timeline. I rarely see the idiots anymore. And like, when the Sonic fan base is like, you know, they got their shit together, they're some of the most amazing groups of fans I've ever seen. Like, search your feelings, you know it to be true. What other fan community gets together and makes drives for children's hospitals? Why do you think we get so excited when we see the next Sonic game? Like, the reception of Shadow Generations should speak volumes about how amazing the fan base can be. Like the Sonic hacking contest too.
Yep.
Like, we're simultaneously the coolest fans and the worst.
We're both cool and cringe.
Yeah, which, you know, kind of fits Sonic to a T, honestly. It's like, yeah, the final boss of Sonic Adventure 2 is a giant lizard. It's stupid as fuck, but everything leading up to that moment and the actual feelings you get with the final boss fight and the main theme of the game playing in its entirety, because it's been sprinkled throughout the game if you listen closely enough. Like, dude, Live and Learn's motif is in supporting me. I learned that recently, and it's like, holy shit, you're right.
Meanwhile, it's like, listen, I think the only crazy thing about the Bio Lizard is when you think, so this was the original prototype to the Ultimate Life Form, and we went from this to a hedgehog.
It is a little weird, but it's like, it's not so different to, like, you know, them testing on different animals, like rats especially, before they move on to human testing.
Yeah.
So that's the idea I got from Bio Lizard, and I was like a kid who was like a stupid kid too, but I was able to pick up on that.
I think I almost got the line art on this done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just gotta get the other sword.
Yeah. So it's like, the 2010s, I think, is when people's perception of the Sonic series really started to plummet, because they fooled themselves into thinking that the naysayers were right. Like, fuck you, Egraptor 2.
Yeah,
it's like, especially when you said the exact words I'm gonna say here is, Dan was asking, so, are all the Sonic games like this? And he's like, yeah, every single one of them is bad. It's like, fuck off, dude.
Yeah,
you don't know what you're talking about. Stop spreading misinformation.
And he wonders why Sega dropped him as a spokesperson.
I'm pretty sure Aaron Weber was the one who put him onto it, and, like, yeah, pretty sure Aaron Weber's fired.
Yeah. It's like, cause even as a joke, it's like, why would you do that?
Yeah, it's ridiculous and unprofessional.
Yeah.
And not even unprofessional, it's just brain dead. Whoa. What was that?
Okay, so I'm now getting called down to help with Din-Dins.
Okie dokie.
Alright, so I'm just gonna put this on the BRB screen. You guys take care of whatever it is that you need to.
Alrighty. I think I might BRB too. Hello? Still waiting. Well, I'm back. Just, waiting for Brian to do the same.
So I has returned.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. So yeah, I cooked the ding-dings. We had the sloppy joes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, and it's Gears of Fortune.
Yes!
So yeah, we're almost done with the line art here. And actually, you know what, Jordan? Why don't you talk a little about Alex's swords? Because she's got quite the dual wielding going on here.
Okay, so, Alex's short swords, once belonged to her parents. The Golden Gildan sword, fashioned after Anthropomorphus, no, the Ewart Park swords, the bronze swords, it is called, Daydreamer, and it belonged to her father, Bran Ark. And the cutlass with the blue tinge on the blade is known as Night Stalker, and that belonged to her mother, Attain Vega Arc. Vega being her last name before she married Bran. So Alexandra's maiden name is actually Vega.
Yeah.
They are forged with tool steel, which is, to my knowledge, one of the toughest metals on Earth. Combined with silver inlay, which means it's good for cutting up demons. So, while demons can't be killed normally, silver does act as a natural repellent to them. The same is true in real world mythology, I believe, and D&D, of course. I believe devils are weak to silvered weapons, so that's where I got the inspiration.
Yeah.
So, one element that Bran's sword has over Attain's is that it can transform and be enlarged into a longsword. I'm debating whether or not to incorporate that in earlier arcs, because that does come to play a little bit later in the story right now. But both weapons also have the new enchantment of, so yeah, you know Mjolnir?
Yes.
It has a returning property. So both of them have returning properties, which opens up Alex's fighting style quite a bit.
He's like, ha! You've been disarmed! Have I? Reaches her hand out. What are you doing?
Slits their throat. Dead.
But no, I'd imagine like it would, while it's coming back, or it just stabs them like through the back.
That too. Well, one of them can do it, and then the other cleaves their head off.
Yeah.
So another inspiration for Alex is actually Batman. So she has a lot of tools at her disposal. So, you know, like the typical vampire hunting kit, you know, stakes made of blackthorn wood, a grappling hook that she later ditches once she starts playing around with magic more. You know, her cloak is good at stunning people, like Batman again. And just, you know, general things necessary to either exploit monster weaknesses or track them.
Yep.
And it's always rotating to this day.
She's always finding new toys to play with.
Yeah. Actually, one thing that I'd like to do later in the story is that give Alex a gun, and she has the reaction time of an Olympic shooter. Like, she'll unload the clip and kill everyone with it. That being said, I can easily see Alex finding guns not boring, just has no skill to it.
Or actually, you know what would actually, you know what I think would be a more realistic reaction from her when using guns? It's like, so how come you don't use that gun of yours so consistently? I mean, you kill things so easily. Too loud.
It's too loud. That's actually true. Yeah, because she prefers the stealthier approach.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Guns are really loud, especially in the old days, the medieval era, because you know guns were in their infancy. Like, look at China; they had firearms up the wazoo, but they're basically dangerous fireworks.
Yeah. I love that I've effectively just kind of became like the editor for Phantom of the Forest.
No, because we're on the same page a lot of the time, and that's why I brought you along.
Hold on, Cece's causing troubles.
Cece, what is it? What are you doing?
Okay, I'll be back. We have in fact combed the CC.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
That's fair.
CC doesn't like being combed.
Oh yeah. I can imagine the break then. But speaking of breaks, we're on an ad break right now.
Yeah, it looks like it. It's almost over.
All right.
Yeah, and we're not getting to the flat colors.
Alrighty.
Yeah. But yeah, like it actually is something that I talked about. I think it was in an earlier lore stream session where when it comes to like how I decide like how my characters like react to things or how they like things, I usually want to think about, okay, how would they react to it like in character? Because it's like, okay, it's like you could ask me like, you know, oh, what do you think Kamiko's favorite food is? I could just say pizza, but it's like, no, that's my favorite food. I gotta think like Kamiko. Like, what does he like?
Yeah, that's what I do too. It's just I've been out of practice for a while, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that's something that I usually recommend people to keep in mind when it comes to like when it comes to making characters. It's like, don't think about like, unless they are like directly a self-insert, and that's the point of it. Don't put all of like your feelings and your opinions into them. Make them their own character. Do things and make them react to things the way that they would, not the way that you would.
Yeah, treat them like people, not projections of yourself.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I did say something to the effect of that earlier on in terms of some of my inspiration for Krakatoth, but generally speaking, he's his own character too. It's just the reason I created him was to put an end to my own demons. Just articulated very clunkily. Clunkily? Is that a word? Well, it's a word now. I made it up.
Yep.
You're welcome.
We're gonna put it in the dictionary. You can't tell us otherwise.
Clunkily.
Yep.
Let me
If you
fact check that.
if you do, we will call you racist.
Yep, clunkily is a word.
Hey.
I'll be right.
Yeah, Kamiko's eyes will be yellow in this because he got the lightning going through him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, devil touched? No. And then we'd see Alex's reaction when he could just change the color of his eyes at will.
Yeah, well, she would just be surprised at first, but then realizing that he's from another world, you know,
Yep.
puts it in the back of her mind, thinking, okay, it's probably not that exact thing.
Yep.
Because, you know, Alex does have, you know, a genius level intellect. She's not the smartest character in my series, but I'd say she's, I'd say the second, third smartest.
Yeah,
if
she's
I
got
can put a
she's
metric
got
to
good
it.
survival instinct.
Yeah. The smartest character is another villain I'm currently developing right now.
Yeah.
One I cannot wait to write for.
Yeah. Oh, and then so Jordan, then there's also another interesting little character of yours that I believe has quite a bit of Shantae elements to her.
Oh yeah, Ala Rivere. She is a Jinn belly dancer, and Jinn are a race of beings who, you know, hailed from another dimension, from their creator named Oz. And when he sacrificed himself to spare the people from his birth, he created the Jinn race. They're essentially like elemental beings that can control their own power at will. So they're some of the races that can, you know, channel their magic naturally instead of using an implement. That's a hard rule of my magic system. Generally, you can only cast magic if you have an enchanted item or a magical focus in your possession. So if you're an arcane archer, you need to have a bow on hand that's enchanted and can channel your powers. But for Jin, like Ala, she's a living cloud, so she can just cast aerokinetic magic, on the fly. She actually has a pretty rough time of it in her introduction, because she and her traveling troupe were, in the town Mistfront, just doing a show that night, and their leader, Rebecca, she was walking a little late at night, and that's when the werewolf attacked and killed her. And Ala could hear all of it because she can naturally just pick up on air currents, and she can hear things in the wind. So she heard everything about her death and carries a small sense of guilt about it. But generally, yeah, she's kind of like a Shantae XP. Like, not even kind of, she is. Just, she's definitely the character that's meant to be sexy. Sort of in the way that Lucy from Fairy Tail is. She likes being sexy on her own terms.
Yeah.
So she's definitely a flirty sort.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's fun.
Yeah, she's definitely the kind of person where, like, if you try to undress her, she'd be like, at least take me out to dinner first.
Exactly right. And honestly, she probably has the one design I cooked the hardest on.
Yeah, it is very good.
Yeah, next to Kragatoth in his prime.
Yeah. Speaking of cooking, Smash Brothers Ultimate's a bloody tears.
Yeah. Honestly, my favorite Castlevania remix is Cross Your Heart, but we already have a version of Cross Your Heart in this playlist, so
yeah.
As much as I wanted to, I didn't want to repeat.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have that, I think, for another character's playlist.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think it was Amara, actually.
Nice.
Amara standing on business. Oh no, wrong layer. I want the color layer. Wrong layer!
It isn't.
Why do you even have that layer?
So we can put other things on it.
It is true.
I mean, you asked.
By the way, I actually was recently watching a highlights reel of SGB's playthrough of God of War 2018.
Yeah.
And it only took me until now to realize that Matt made a Legend of Korra reference at one point.
Oh, did he? I never actually watched Legend of Korra, so I didn't get it either.
Yeah, so like it was the bit where Johnny's just like, a man does not ask for directions. It's like, oh, Kratos is that guy. It's like, Dad, I think we passed that same mushroom already. That's not the same mushroom. Yes, I am!
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a Legend of Korra reference, because, like, they were in the spirit world with, it was Aang's kids lost in the spirit world. And, like, Tenzin's, like, trying to get them out, and it's just like, we've passed that same mushroom, like, 6 times. That is not the same mushroom. Yes, I am!
Okay. So I'm guessing Legend of Korra plays around with the spirit world a little more?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
In fact, I think specifically Book 2 of Legend of Korra plays a lot around with the spirit world, because we deal with, like, the originator of how the Avatar state came to be with Rava, as well as, like, the ultimate baddie of the spirit world being Vatu.
Right. Because I think I think the only episodes I've watched all the way through were the first couple when it was first introduced, and actually when I was at Alex's apartment, the episodes with Avatar Juan in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Juan,
that's
yeah,
kind of an apt name. Juan.
Yeah, Juan, I believe, was... yeah, I think they were covering that part during book 2, because that's when we were... because, yeah, that's definitely when we was dealing with the spirit realm, as well as just talking about the origins of the Avatar.
Right. Yeah. Decent couple of episodes, I would say.
Yeah.
Also, I'm on my end. I'm listening to the song before Unleash the Archers. Sold out to AI. I hope that's not the case, but their music video and the concepts they have about it is just—it's not a good sign.
Honestly, I want to.
I don't care if it was done natively.
I'm just gonna say I blame Pink Floyd.
Did they do something like that too?
Not only did they do that, they won an award for it.
Oh wait, yeah, that's right, they did. Idiots.
It's like, thanks, guys.
It's like, okay, they did get an artist to train an AI algorithm at the studio. I still don't think you should have tried.
No.
It's like, there is no good reason to use generative AI at all. Like, you know the thing about Spider-Verse, with its technology that, you know, creates creases for the artist to put in later? Yeah, AI should be used to assist you, not take your job.
Yeah, please.
Like, how hard is that for you idiots to understand? And I'm gonna be aggressive about it because it's the only way people learn, apparently. Because...
But it's so cost-effective, and it looks worse.
It looks worse, yeah, and it shows, you know?
Yeah.
Which doesn't remind me, I did see a post where I saw an AI-generated dramatic scene, quote-unquote, and I heard the guy's voice, and he sounded like a ghoul. Like, and people were in there like, oh, that's so heartbreaking. And it's like, no, it's not! It sounds like a horror movie!
The guy, yes, about as heartbreaking. It's about as heartbreaking as GLaDOS telling me I'm adopted.
I hope the 3 years thing is true, because I can't wait for the day when every single studio out there looks at what they were doing and they're like, you know what, this isn't working, let's just hire artists again, and we'll all have a collective facepalm about it. I hope you heard that, by the way.
Yeah, it's like, that's what we've been saying!
It's like, you don't say!
It's like, what gave you that incentive?
It's like, you know what, okay, let's just, all those projects we canceled, let's release them all at once. Okay, Wile E. Coyote versus Acme, go. Bone, go.
It's just David Zaslav is just like, no, you can't do this. My tax write-off.
And then they fire him.
Yeah, please.
Because, like, this is your idea, asshole.
You're
You're fired.
Yeah, it's like, please get rid of him. He is a toxin.
He is not one of us.
No. It's
I
like, no.
really hope everyone has that collective wake-up call, because it's gonna be so satisfying.
It's like, no, what do you mean Ruby got saved? I wanted to kill it.
It's my IP to do nothing with!
And no, Jordan, even funnier, you just, David Zaslav just looking at Ruby's like, I thought we ended you.
Nope. And then Ruby just goes,
oh, yeah, because he also has a gun.
it's also a gun!
Yeah.
One pipe dream I'd like to have is Phantom of the Forest cross with Ruby.
Oh, I was talking about the Rise of Superior also doing that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Just because, I know Kamiko would solo the whole Ruby universe.
Yeah, well, for me, I don't think it'll be so much that.
Yeah. Imagine, like, Alex just returns to a Clepia where it's like, ooh, you got yourself a new toy. What does it do? It's also a gun.
And Savras is like, this is the part where you run away.
And also, speaking of Alex, I have also made no hint to Jordan that I do think Alex hot.
Yeah. I honestly felt really proud when you admitted that.
Yeah, she listen. I like strong women. They're an easy way for me to simp.
Yeah, but like, I initially had Ala be the sexy character, and Savras eventually became more attractive as well.
Yeah.
Which is why she has a more ample bosom than Alex does.
Yeah,
Alex is more of the butt girl.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I'll also say, like, yeah, don't even get me wrong on this. Ala is pretty hot too.
Yeah, I'm glad.
Listen, you're very good at drawing ladies.
Thanks.
That being said, no, Alex will not end up with Kamiko.
No.
Like, that is something that will not be happening.
Yeah, not to mention, she's got a decade over him.
Yeah. That'd be quite the age gap.
Not even a decade, 12 years.
Yeah. Well, no, well, actually, yeah, I guess depending on when exactly we start.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, like, at the start of, like, when the story officially begins with Phantom of the Forest, she's 28. Kamiko's 18 when he officially starts his story. It's like, okay, so yeah, like, at the start of things, like, they are, like, a decade apart.
Yeah. Alex be a full-grown woman.
Yeah. So, yeah. Though Kamiko and Alex will absolutely kick ass together.
Right. Again, Kamiko is the Superman to Alex's Batman.
Yeah. I'm also just really trying to make sure that the one I'm working on. This is Night Stalker, right?
Yes.
Right.
That's her mom's sword.
Okay, so yeah, like the entire blade is blue, but then it's like as it gets closer to the base, it just fades into a darker shade.
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure I
Yeah,
get
it's brighter at the tip.
Yeah, just making sure I'm getting the colors right on this. What about the actual blade part of it? Like, is that like the same color?
I'd say it's the same throughout, because the line, at least when I designed it, is more like it's the implication of a fuller. But
Okay.
the fact that you made it a cutting edge is very interesting. I actually like it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I guess because I know like the origins in which you had her sword being. It's like to me, like I kind of got a bit of cutlass out of it.
Yeah. It later developed into a cutlass. Yeah. Originally it was kind of like a weird machete.
Yeah.
Like a butterfly knife actually. Then it just developed into one because I wanted to lean further into, because Alex's mom was a pirate.
Yeah.
Not just that, a pirate captain. So she was actually the leader of the caravan that she and her husband were a part of.
Hell yeah, pirates! Move over, Netflix. Oh wait, not that kind of pirate.
So yeah, I'll definitely incorporate my love for pirates even more as the story goes along, because especially since a lot of famous pirates were Irish too.
Yeah.
If not that, then Scottish. Because like, Barbossa?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was an Irishman.
The code is more so guidelines.
So, what's become of my ship?
You best start believing in ghost stories, because tonight, you're in one.
You're in one. Also, also as someone who loves the first Pirates movie, the full line is actually, "You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Turner." You're in what?
Yeah. I think they actually adapted that moment into Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, damn near ripping off wholesale.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to get some disappointments out of the way. No, Jordan Burke does in fact not like Kingdom Hearts at all.
Well, I guess I know what I'm never streaming on this channel.
I mean, you can stream it all you want. I probably won't be present for it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? For that, never say never.
Yeah. Well, because I will say this. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 are really good games. Like, I think that's, like, definitely where, like, the biggest highlight to being a Kingdom Hearts fan was. And I'll say this. I'd say, because it's, like, after, like, because I've been, I hang out with a lot of Kingdom Hearts fans. Like, you know, reviewer being, like, the biggest one. And
yeah, I know TP is a big fan.
yeah, TP's a big one. I know Bubbling Brook is also one. And, like, I'll say this especially when it came to, like, where the biggest confusion started coming from with how the timeline to Kingdom Hearts lined out. Honestly, that's something you could blame more on Square, because they were just like, oh, we're going to release Kingdom Hearts games on separate consoles. So, like, because, you know, we all know the story about Chain of Memories, where it's like, you know, oh, everyone saw Chain of Memories, it was a Game Boy Advance game, and it looked like it was hitting a lot of the same similar story beats as the first game was. Like, okay, so I guess this is just going to be like, what, a port of the first Kingdom Hearts game, but on Game Boy Advance? And it's like, okay, cool. So probably just something we can skip. It's, you know, probably just a nice little handheld distraction if you don't have the console version. No, we then later on learned there were, in fact, plot relevance in Chain of Memories. Which is why by the time Kingdom Hearts 2 came around and you saw, like, the opening, the intro sequence of that, and you just started seeing characters that weren't in the first game, you're like, wait a minute, who are these guys? And yeah, the problem with that is, yeah, you didn't play Chain of Memories.
Goody.
Yeah, and then they did it again with Birth by Sleep by making that PSP exclusive, then Recoded, which was DS exclusive, then same thing with 358 Days Over 2 and Dream Drop Distance, where, like, they were all just on separate systems. But now, we no longer have that problem anymore because of all thanks to the HD collections that are out.
Which is probably what they should have done in the first place, because there's less clunky ways to get your money, guys.
Yeah.
Because if you spread everything to multiple systems, you just spread yourself way too thin.
Yeah, and especially since, on top of that, not even just simply spreading things thin, but also just something to keep in mind as well, people. Gaming is a very expensive hobby.
Yeah, Zenny put it best. Gaming is a luxury now.
Yeah, because, like,
which isn't something you tend to think about, but it really is. Like, why do you think they jack up the prices for every new PlayStation system now?
Yeah, because, like,
because it's a luxury.
Yeah, because before the HD collections, if you wanted to be able to experience all of Kingdom Hearts, you would need a PlayStation 2, a Game Boy Advance, a Nintendo DS, a 3DS, a PSP. I also believe mobile, because there was also a mobile game that also had canon connections to the story.
Okay.
And also a PlayStation, I think it was PS4 Kingdom Hearts 3 was released on. So yeah, you had to have all of those systems just so you can keep up with the story of Kingdom Hearts.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, so suffice to say, you're going to be spending a lot of money. Which, you know, again, is a great thing why the, HD collections are now a thing, because now you don't have to do that. In fact, you can now play just about every Kingdom Hearts game on PC now, because it's on Steam. Now, granted, there is certainly some plot points in Kingdom Hearts that I still have to ask questions on, like that fucking time-traveling bullshit that goes on in Dream Drop Distance.
Yay, time travel!
Yeah,
Whoopee!
It's like, Xehanort, who are these guys? Oh, these are me, spanning multiple different time periods. There's young me, there's me as Ansem, there's my nobody, here's me as old.
Stop. Okay, so that right there is what I hope to avoid with my story. Like, nothing confusing, so like, no time travel, like, if anything, time travel is a universal law that, if broken, leads to destruction. Another thing too is if characters die, they stay dead. Resurrection is just not possible in Phantom of the Forest setting. You can reanimate the dead, but you can't bring their spirits back. You just revive their corpses.
So yeah, we got the flat colors going here. So Jordan, how this looking to you?
I'm digging it, but now I'm looking at Alex's gauntlets here. I can't help but feel like it's lobbing into her cloak now.
Yeah, well, I think it's just mainly because, like, it is a bit difficult for me to just draw, like, a clenched fist around those without, like... Because I know she has fingerless gloves.
Oh, that's not what I mean.
Just like me.
Like, I think it's fine. I'm talking about more of the color choices, like her actual gauntlet. The dark brown and the green of her, that's similar to her cloak. I think we should turn that back into her.
Or actually, let me see if I can try something here. Let's see if you like this. Make it a bit darker.
Okay, that provides a little bit more contrast. I guess we'll see how it looks when it comes to the shading, but, like, I'm also looking at that going, like, maybe I made the colors a little bit too similar. Because, you know, in order to get even more dynamic scenes, because my thought was I may struggle drawing her cloak, that she could have moments where if she loses it, she could still have green on her character.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Alex's primary color is green. So that was my solution to it, but thinking about it more in practice, it's like, I think I had it pretty good the first time.
Yeah, well, I think something that would help is just maybe just having different shades of green.
Maybe, yeah. Because when they are together, yes, it provides contrast.
Yeah, I do like this pose though. I do think like the way they interact off each other is really good.
I agree, yeah.
By the way, this is probably the closest I'll ever be able to have Attack on Titan music playing for my streams that doesn't get Sawano Sensei angry at me. Yeah, cause yeah, just a daily reminder, there is an Attack on Titan video game, and the music is actually super close to how the anime is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, honestly, Jordan, I think I'd say you should definitely take a listen to it because it's really good.
Okay.
And it's the game's also it was also developed by the same people who did the Fairy Tail game, Koei Tecmo. Which means yes, it does have bullshit DLC too. Actually,
Okay,
I think before I end up doing the shading, I think I might work a little bit on the background, but I think I will save that for another time because I do have to end up going to work a bit earlier because there is no second shift on tonight, but we got a bit of progress done on this.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and you know, we got you to be able to talk about your characters today, so I'm sure you felt pretty good about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright, so... let's see. Alright, so is it just filtering? Let's just hide this for now. Alright, so I want to say tomorrow I'm going to be taking off because I want to be able to rest my hands a little bit and just maybe get a couple of touch-ups being done on a couple of other things. But on a Monday will actually be the start of a miniature vacation that I will be having where I will be talking about Riona for an extended period of time.
Alrighty.
Yeah. And then Tuesday I will be off because that will be a Strixhaven day. Wednesday we will be I believe that's Iwa Kenja that we'll be talking about. So we'll be working on his stuff. Hold on. Actually, it might be easier if I just get the schedule out for me. I have it pinned in here. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so yeah.
I was literally about to check the stream, but then it went into an ad break.
Okay. You know what? You know what? In that case, I think I'll just be getting my spiel again, because, like, man, imagine getting your plans cut off because there's an ad.
Thanks, Twitch, assholes.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't want any ads, be sure to subscribe today for only $5.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm looking into why Unleash the Archers was, even thinking about using AI, but apparently that's part of the theming, and they do seem to have some sense of thinking. Yeah, definitely in the wrong hands. AI is definitely taking work away from the artists, but they also said stupid things like, well, what if we developed it alongside AI? And it's like, guys, you're just part of the problem at this point. It doesn't care how good your music is, you're still involving it in your themes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anywho, so yeah, so the stream schedule for next week. So we're gonna be off tomorrow, just so I can get myself a little bit of rest and some personal time. And you know what? Since July is the month of my birthday, I could also spend that day throwing Melia at Jordan. And then after that will be the start of a little miniature vacation of mine, because I did ask for some PTO time from my work. So Monday, we will be working on Riona's reference sheet, so we'll be able to stream for a while with that one. In fact, I'm really hoping to actually finish this one on Monday. Then Tuesday, I will be off because that will be a Strixhaven day, so I will be on the Spiffy Needle Geeks for that. Wednesday, we'll be trying to finish up Iwa Kenja's sheet, being able to talk about him. Thursday will be some touch-up work, probably for just some reference sheets, or maybe even going back to this piece. They'll just work on maybe inserting a background here and there. Friday, we'll be talking about Shadow Kamiko, who casts Fireball.
Oh, you mean like...
Yeah, exactly like that, except he does it with more racism. And then Saturday will be off because that will be a Ravnica day on the Spiffy Needle Geeks. So that's going to be the schedule for this upcoming week. But for now, let's see, who can I have you guys raid into? Let's see here. Because as much as I would love to send you to Crafty, I tend to have raided into him quite a bit. I want to send you guys to someone who I haven't. Actually, you know what? How about I send you guys to Dr. Caliban? Yeah, because Dr. Caliban is a pretty cool guy. You know, he's a pretty he also you know what, he also falls under the mad scientist motif that Dr. Crafty does. You know, he's got I think you'll like what he's got. Like, he has a pretty good aesthetic, and I thought that he's also just a cool guy to talk to when he like pops up here and there. He's always got a story to share. All right, and the raid message shall be, as usual, the lore. Alright, so, as our usual stream rules go when we raid into people, don't overpromote the stream, respect the streamer's rules, be sure to follow their content if you end up liking what they do. When we do raid into them, go to the URL address and remove the referred equals raid from it, and then hit refresh so your view counts by Twitch, because the site be weird like that when it comes to raids and viewers and counting them as actual viewers. But until then, this has been Realm Wars, this has been day 6 of the lore-a-thon. And this has been Jordan talking about his character Alex and Phantom of the Forest.
Yeah.
And we shall see you guys next time on Monday.